People say an hour and a half from the trainer's worth 3 on the road. I didn't think it's quite that.
That might be a little bit too much.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Coaches on Couches.
Bing slouches.
We got a good one. We got a good one today for those of you who are trainer haters. Mm-hmm. Which I've met.
Chad was already on. He's a long time trainer hater.
I've met several of you over the years, including our buddy Will Stoffel is a adamant trainer hater.
Yes, he was.
He was actually thinking about breaking his 4-year streak.
Whoa.
He was.
And hopping on the trainer again?
Yeah.
Man.
Now that I've said that, he won't do it.
Nope. He's out now.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about why, in fact, you should love the trainer.
Yep. And if you don't love it, why you should learn to love it.
Absolutely. It's not, no, but let's face it, nobody got into cycling to like spend all their time inside on the trainer.
No.
But there are a lot of advantages to actually utilizing that in your training, especially.
You and I both use it
time.
year round.
Yeah, I use it year round.
Not for every ride, obviously.
And we'll get into that.
But yeah, we use it year round.
Yeah, so listen
And
up.
if you're time crunched, love it. Learn to love it.
We'll get there.
Okay.
All right, I am Coach Dale Sanford.
I am Coach Bryant Funston. We are the co-founders of BPC Performance Coaching, where we specialize in helping time-crunched athletes optimize their busy schedules so they can maximize their athletic performance. Every BPC coach is trained in our 5 pillars coaching system that has been developed over the last 11 years through our work with athletes of all ages and ability levels, from fresh off the couch to world championship competitors. You can find out more about BPC by going to buildpeakcompete.com, checking Facebook and YouTube at Build Peak Compete, and all up on that Instagram at BPC Performance.
I dare say we've been poor at Instagram.
Yeah,
we're working on it.
We're trying to get there.
Yeah, with very few races this year, it's been tougher to gather photography.
Little time hop style thing. Philip Young.
Oh yeah.
Won it 2 years ago when he won a national championship. He
won it last year too. So
was it last year also?
Yeah. So 2 years in a row, he was the age group national champion. Aqua bike.
Great memories back when that racing was full swing. But it looks like with our shout outs, we got shout outs coming back again.
Yeah, we do have them.
Which means racing. Racing is coming back.
Yeah, so this past weekend, Ironman Florida and the rescheduled Gulf Coast 70.3 actually happened. Seemed like it, went pretty well. I mean, from those I've heard from, it seemed like the COVID procedures were pretty well, done and followed. So in the full, we had Jamie Bailey. Have another Ironman finish, and then Chris Nikic, the very first person to finish an Ironman with Down syndrome.
How cool is that?
Very cool. I mean, awesome moment. Finished under the time cut, so that's fantastic. We also had Walker Burrow in the 70.3 distance, won his age group. So
there we go, Walker.
That is it's a spot for Worlds.
Worlds, baby. Where is Worlds? Is it to be determined?
It's missing from my head right now.
Gotcha. Put you on the spot there.
Yeah.
So if you guys know, if you're listening and you know, throw it in the comments.
Yeah. You have any other ones?
Yeah, I got Lee Ruston. First place in the Grit and Grind gravel event from 2 weekends ago in the ladies B race. So great result for her. And Ben Ladd, young lad, as I call him, he actually just hit an all-time 60-minute power best a few days ago.
Nice.
Just out there smashing. He didn't even mean to. And it was 1 hour and like 8 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, was this on the trainer? And it was not. It was outdoors. He just went out and hammered.
Those are actually some of the bests to see when people are just hitting them like on normal rides or on group rides when they're not really intending to. And those things just come out. That's when you know. That's when you know we got the. It's in St. George, the 70.3. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, those are the best to see because they weren't planned and you weren't trying overly hard to do it, and they're just popping up. So
which goes back to like we've chatted before about how sometimes our athletes will have their best races when it's not a goal race.
Yeah.
Just taking pressure off, and some people dealing with the stress of a goal event can kind of impact performance. So
yeah,
chapeau to you, young lad.
We have a major shout at.
Go for
it, Funston.
Taco Bell. Can I tag them vocally?
We're gonna.
At Taco Bell. You guys are dead to me.
Dead.
I used to be one of your biggest promoters and patrons.
Absolutely.
But now, gone.
Well, it all started when they started taking away...
And it's not the Mexican pizza.
No.
That's not my issue.
That's your wife's issue.
That's my wife's issue.
Funny story, but we won't go into it. When they started taking away potatoes, they took away potatoes, and now it's Fresco.
Fresco's gone.
Fresco is gone. What a horrible idea.
The way to make Taco Bell healthy and appealing to your folks that are interested in that, they've removed the Fresco option.
There's no longer a reason to go eat at Taco Bell.
No, my wife actually asked last night. She's like, hey, should I get Taco Bell on the way home from dropping the kid off? And I was like, nah, dead to me.
Oh, Taco Bell.
At Taco Bell,
How could
someone
you?
tag them right now, please, if you're listening, and say, Taco Bell, you're dead to the endurance community.
WTF, mate. All right.
Next, they're going to get rid of fire sauce.
Yep,
that was our massive shout at.
Yeah, that's not.
I feel a little better after getting that off my chest.
Yeah, you seem like there's a weight been lifted.
Whew, am I sitting taller?
The couch is seemingly floating on air now.
All right,
so we're talking about loving the trainer and why you should learn. If you don't, learn to love your trainer. If you're okay with it, learn to love it a little bit more.
There you go. Shameless plug.
Yeah, so this, starting in December, we've got our online class. We've been doing it now. The class is 10 years old. It's been online for what?
I actually think
5?
we're 11 years old.
It might be 11.
I think it's 11.
It's constantly changing.
10 or 11, yeah.
It's over a decade.
Uh-huh.
But under 15 years old.
Yes.
But our online class, House of Pain cycling program, we do it every year. It runs from December to the time change in March. We do 2 classes a week online. They're all on Zoom. We used to not even say that, but everyone knows what Zoom is now. We've been using Zoom since before Zoom was cool. But we've been doing it online now for at least 5 years. This will be maybe the 5th year or 6th year. And so it is by far, like, if you're looking to improve your cycling over the winter, this is it. Like, without, I mean, obviously we're biased, but
well, there's a lot of good programs you can do out there, but I think what we feel takes it to another level, and we're actually going to discuss some of this stuff, is the not the training aspect, but the technique side of things.
There's a lot
making you pedal at different cadences.
The way I keep explaining it to people is there's so much that we put into this program that you could not physically put into a workout description. There's no way to put all of the information that we put into hop, into a workout. You're just not going to get it. You can do all the plans. There's a lot of good plans out there. You can do all the plans you want, but you're missing it. You're missing a lot if you're not focusing on the mental side, technical side, all that stuff.
Yeah,
so,
the
and that's
efficiency side.
all stuff we put in on top of you have a strength training program to follow, which is obviously huge. If you didn't listen to the last episode, you know,
Yeah, go back and listen to that.
you know, and we did a whole other episode on how to survive the winter, basically. That's another good one if you're trying to figure out what you're going to do this fall and winter. That's another great episode to listen to. But the house paint program is going on for years. We would not be keep doing it if it wasn't successful. You know, we're seeing on average 10% improvement in power over those, you know, 20. Well, this will be 28 sessions this year. So if you're interested, the registration's open. We start December 1st.
Yep.
Hopcycling.com. There's more information there. And yeah, we'd love you to join us and the other 50s plus cyclists who join us every year. All right. So to the topic.
Good segue.
That was a great segue. If I do say so myself. We're talking about why we love the trainer. And
especially for you time crunched folks.
Absolutely.
Or people that live in higher traffic, higher density areas where it's tough to get to open roads quickly and easily.
And it really is reason number one is that it is the ultimate inconvenience when you're talking about riding a bike. There's far less to set up, things to get ready. You know, there's not, you know, 5 miles before you get out of town before you can actually do anything.
That's a massive one. Yeah, that's a massive part right there.
You know, for both of us, we're in a stage of life with kids and young kids and kids who are doing activities now and yada, 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 where everything I do, all my training is convenience-based. So I do it when it's the most convenient for me, and for the majority of it, it's fairly like low volume, so it has to be like higher quality.
Exactly.
And so in order to do that, I go for the convenience of the trainer a lot because I can get on there, knock out really high quality hour, if that's all I have, and then be done with it. Like, you know, there's not a 20-minute warm up.
It's such an efficient use of your time.
Yeah.
So less prep on getting ready. You know, you have your bottles right there. You can have your bike already set up. Literally all you have to do is put on your shoes, your bibs, shorts.
Yeah.
And bingo, bango.
Yeah, I don't even wear a jersey whenever.
Yeah. Turn the fan on and you're going. Like you can get straight into quality and you don't have, you know, the 5 miles. 5 minutes, you know, even 5 minutes can make a big difference in quality of a workout as well.
Well, so it's afterwards too. Like you just jump off the trainer and go change your clothes. It's like you could even have time to shower. Like
I always just pretend like I did shower, and that's why my hair's wet.
You gotta at least rub the crust off your face, like salt crust.
Cakes. Yeah. But that goes into the second point you mentioned already is the quality and how targeted you can be with your workouts. So it's really important, and this is why it's so important for the time crunch folks, is you need to make the best use of your time. And you can pack so much quality into a very short time frame on the trainer. It's, you know, there's no better way to peg those time and zones that you're trying to be hitting than hopping on the trainer and doing that. You're not having to, you know, work around the traffic lights and stop signs and other cars and, you know, all of that stuff. You're not dealing with uphills and downhills and headwinds and tailwinds. I mean, it's so structured, you can be so structured on it that it's massive from a quality standpoint.
Yeah, it really doesn't. You really can't get any better as far as quality goes. And like for me, with as little time as I have, like, realistically, I know people think that as coaches we just train all the time and then just sit at the computer for an hour a day, but it's really not how it goes. So I have no interest in doing a bunch of like junk mile rides and even easy rides and stuff like that, or I don't do a lot of that because of the time. Like I go on, I jump on, get quality, and that's how I roll. Like it just doesn't make sense to me with the little time that I have. I love riding, but it doesn't make sense for me to put all my like stuff on to go spin around for an hour and get nothing out of it.
Especially we're approaching wintertime here, and that's when most people end up spending more time indoors. But honestly, like I've chatted with a lot of folks about it. It's like it can take 20 minutes to get ready for a cold weather ride. So your 20 minutes of getting prepped at least to go outdoors, if all you have is 45 minutes, like that's now a 25-minute ride.
Yeah, and think about on the quality side of things, like this is probably one of the things you hear most often, but you never stop pedaling on the trainer.
Yeah.
And we actually have a
pain train.
Pain train. We actually have a workout that we give everyone, and it's basically just a focused endurance ride, and we call it the NSP rides. Never stop pedaling, because out on the road, like we will literally see people spend 30+% of their ride either not pedaling or in zone 1. So if you are,
and they're trying to not be there, like they're not intentionally using that as like recovery periods. This is just a group ride scenario.
Yeah, and so it's on a 3-hour ride, you can literally spend a third of that doing almost nothing.
Yeah,
so
or not necessarily training the area that you could get the most benefit from.
Right.
Yeah.
But like on a trainer, like you are literally forced to pedal, and a lot of times with a little bit more resistance than the road would give you. So we've heard the whole myth of like an hour on the trainer, or people say an hour and a half on the trainer's worth 3 on the road. I don't think it's quite that.
That might be a little bit too much.
I mean, I would maybe give it a 10 to 15% bump. Not a massive.
For sure. Yeah, I would easily
doubler.
give it that.
It's not a doubler.
Well, in my mind, I'll treat it as a doubler. If I'm like, 90 minutes, there's a lot of quality there. It's got to be the same.
Yeah, but you're spending so little time not pedaling. There is especially for fatigue resistance and stuff like that. There is a big benefit to doing the rides on the trainer, and I do a lot of rides in the winter, like longer rides on the trainer, because I don't like going outside when it's under 40 degrees.
If it's freezing, Dale ain't leaving.
And at times like truth is, like over the winter, I kind of use that to like bank a lot of brownie points. And so like I'll get up early and even ride 2 and 3 hours on the trainer and be done before the kids get up and eat breakfast.
Yeah, done at 8, 8 or 9. Yeah.
So that I can go jam out in the warmer months and not appear home until 11 or 12.
Yeah.
But I'm still getting the same, I'm still getting a lot of great quality in those trainer rides. Although, it is, the longer you go, the harder it is mentally for you to want to stay on it. Yep. But there's tons of quality. I mean, there's, in those rides. One of the other, so moving on from quality, one of the biggest things is you can actually focus on technique.
Yep.
We've put out all kinds of information on pedal stroke, all the drills and blah, blah, blah. And if you've ever tried to do a single leg drill while you're out on the road, it's not that easy.
It's a little more challenging, especially in a group ride.
Yeah. It's just not, you got so many other things to worry about and to distract you from the quality of the work. Like when you're on the trainer, you can focus on changing little things, working on your pedal stroke, doing single leg drills, changing body position, standing out of the saddle, all those things that you can't like you may be able to focus on it on the road, but you can't focus on it for very long.
Yeah.
Like
There's a lot of stuff that takes your attention away from that. You got cars, is there a dog coming at me?
Yeah.
You have the stop signs, you have the stoplights, you have, changes in terrain can impact your ability to do that. If you're doing a group ride or even a ride with someone else, oftentimes you'll be talking to the person around you, or you're focused on what's happening within the group ride to make sure you're staying safe, looking for, holes and sticks and rocks and all that stuff. There's so much stuff that's taking your attention away, even if you're not aware of it. But on a trainer, I mean, you can close your eyes and lock in if you want to, and you can feel those little tiny changes much easier. So during the hop, we always talk about like make small changes and see what happens to perceived effort. Does perceived effort go up or does it go down? What happens to heart rate? What happens to your power if you're on power? Like you can make those tweaks to body position, to your pedal stroke, and immediately see an effect there without all those other distractions. So huge from a technique and efficiency standpoint. Trainer is awesome for that. And we are always reminded at the start of hop when we first do single leg drills again about how easy it is to get lazy with your pedal stroke and how clunky your pedal stroke can be.
Yeah.
So yeah, dedicated technique work, huge on the trainer.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. That's one of the best uses for it, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's, trying to do technique work outside, like you said, like, yeah, go try to do, even if you're just working on something like low cadence, go try to do low cadence over a rolling course. It's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
You're
wear that battery out.
Yeah.
You electronic folks.
Yeah. I mean, it is way better for technique work.
Mm-hmm. Next one.
Yeah, like this is
kind of touched on this already.
Yeah, but this is the reason why like I own a treadmill. This is the reason, like, if I had the money, I would have an endless pool. Like that, it takes away all the excuses.
Yep. The next, no excuses.
Yeah, no excuses not to get a ride in, and that leads to
that C word,
consistency.
Consistency.
I mean, and when that consistency's high, it's going to pay off. Your performance is only going to be better in the long run because you were consistent versus these folks that as soon as it gets colder or darker, they basically hang the bike up and only ride when it's convenient for them, and they only ride easy. So, I mean, sure, if you're cool with like basically starting over every like spring,
March. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you're cool with that, then all right.
Well, it's massive we always say some is greater than none, with a lot of our clients. It's that consistency makes a massive difference, and it may not necessarily mean that if an hour workout is scheduled, you may only be able to get 40 minutes in. If you're going to be doing that outside and you've got 20 minutes of prep time, like it's very easy to blow that off. Like I'm not going to spend 20 minutes getting ready for a 20-minute ride. But hopping on a trainer, you can still get a lot of work done in 40 minutes on a trainer. So that consistency is what's going to make a big difference between where you could be and where you actually are.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've definitely wanted to on certain days where it's been like super nasty out, like cold rain and stuff like that. That's my least favorite.
Yeah.
But you walk by the trainer and it's like, hey, dude, here I am. Let's
no excuse.
Jump on. And then the athlete brain takes over and you get on it.
Yep.
All right. So one thing that we I don't want to backpedal too much, but talking about, I've been asked like, why would you ride the trainer when it's like 65, 70 outside, not a cloud in the sky, that kind of stuff. And it really revolves back to the conveniency and quality part of it. Like we use the trainer year round. And the main reason for that is because once you get into race season and all your efforts are targeted toward like kind of race specific, or you're just doing group rides and stuff like that, you get very good at those efforts.
Yep.
And you start to miss out on those long, sustained, moderate to hard efforts. And those are what keep your fatigue resistance really high. And so we both utilize that, and with our athletes quite a bit during the year, is keeping one trainer session during the week where it is nothing but like high quality, like sweet spot and above work that helps you maintain high levels of fatigue resistance with a lower volume ride.
Yep.
So if you were doing that out on the road, those like long upper zone 3 into zone 4 efforts, they don't happen as smoothly because you're constantly adjusting for the terrain and, you know, hit a stop sign or a light or whatever. Like you don't hit them as steady and as smooth.
Yep.
So that can be frustrating for some people, but when you get on the trainer, and you know, we don't like erg mode, but it forces you to focus. It forces you to, you know, hit a long, like steady, long, harder effort that is going to keep you strong and fatigue resistant.
Stronger for longer.
There you go. You know, realistically, with all the new virtual riding apps, and there's tons of them out there now that we probably don't even know about.
Yeah.
But there is a benefit to like having the trainer and doing some of the virtual riding. I probably wouldn't have said that like 2 or 3 years ago. When Zwift first came out, we both kind of got on it before smart trainers were even a thing, and that's when like basically you could just link up your power meter to the like dongle thing and run it over your computer.
Dongle. Yep.
And I was like, this is a joke. Like, you know, but now it's all app based and very easy to hook up, and you know, you can get on there with thousands of people, and you know, they've adapted it to like even seeing advantages when you're drafting people, and if you have a smart trainer, it adjusts obviously for the terrain. And gets easier when you're going downhill and all that stuff. So like there is...
For you that struggle with boredom on the trainer, the virtual software available out there definitely does help keep you interested for longer.
Yeah.
And does give a little more of a road-like feel to a,
and you can
training session.
You can actually like host your own group rides.
And
then
for sure on Zwift,
I believe it's Trainer Road that does the...
you have a group of people, you can 3 to 5, I think.
You can have a group of people do the same workout together, and everyone's got a camera and stuff like that. That's kind of that's pretty much what we're doing in Hop, except you're following the coach versus doing a set workout. Like the coach is leading the workout and stuff like that, but everyone's on a camera and stuff like that. We can see you, you can see us. We can give tips on your body position or live feedback if we have a good enough shot of you on the bike. So there is some like nice benefits to some of the new virtual like riding things. And I know Ruvi has gotten... Ruvy's really working on expanding their augmented reality riding courses and stuff like that, where they've now done a couple of like stage races, like virtual stage races on these courses. So it is getting pretty, it's getting intense.
It's getting it's very getting advanced for sure.
Yeah.
I personally like using the Zwift races as a motivating factor for longer, hard efforts. So if I know I need a longer, hard day, and we can have a whole nother conversation on the racing of Zwift and how it's not quite like racing outdoors, but
it's not.
But I know I will get a very hard effort in. It's like threshold with some bursts, essentially, is what racing is on Zwift. So if I know I need a 40-minute to 60-minute hard sustained effort where there is that competitive aspect to it, that extra motivation, then Zwift is what I'll turn to.
Can we talk for a second about digital doping?
First step is always to lower your weight by at least 45 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, it never fails that I get on Zwift and just riding along and get, blown by somebody doing 6 watts per kilo and their last name is not Kuss.
Yeah, it's not Sip. It's not Seppi.
Like, it's just like, it blows my mind that people would...
You'll see the people doing like 10 watts per kilo.
Yeah.
This is a very big side tangent we could go down right now.
We could. Just set your weight right.
Yeah.
They
are doing, I will give it to them, they do have, if you're going to be doing some of the actual legit races, you're having to verify your power through like a Strava account, and you're supposed to I think they may monitor it somehow, like weigh the day of, like before you get on the bike, and like all that stuff has to be legit. Have to have a heart rate monitor. So they're getting better at trying to keep it fair.
Police
in the official races.
Yeah.
But there's so many out there that are just fun races that you'll have people pushing big time power
to
weight, big time power to weight, and not much power. And I'm like, really?
I'm not going to mention what country it normally comes from. Anyways, all right. So some other little things. There's we already kind of mentioned this. You can when you're riding the trainer, you can screw up your nutrition and don't have to wait to get some.
Yep.
You can go get off and fill your bottles.
No store stops, which honestly can be a massive time waste too.
Yeah.
And in the wintertime, you freeze. You finally get warm and you store stop, and then you freeze when you get back on. But think about it. Your next long ride, or go back and look at a previous long ride, and you may have done how much time did you actually spend riding during that? The meetup time usually kills 10 minutes.
Yep.
The store stop usually kills at least 15 minutes. So just right there, you can subtract
the P-stop,
the mechanicals, the flats, sometimes we've done rides where it's a 65-mile ride and it takes 5 hours.
Yeah.
Whereas, that's essentially 3 hours of riding. Like, knock that on the trainer and you've got 2 hours back in your day.
Right. That's of all the reasons,
we went back to the we keep going back to it. Okay. But no store stops needed, and you got all your nutrition right there.
Yeah.
I like this next one.
Go for it.
This next one is, it's great for binging shows that your significant other does not like.
That's
hole up in your little pain cave, and if it's not a day where you're really wanting to do some very focused technique, efficiency style, if it's a more of an endurance style ride, man, Netflix binge.
Yeah.
Or YouTube, kind of a YouTube guy.
That's been my, I think probably for the last 6 or 7 years, that's been my only time to binge watch shows that I know that my wife is not going to want to watch. So it's pretty much, I've pretty much run
Narcos.
through Dexter, all the Marvel shows. I've gone through so many different shows, Sons of Anarchy, all these shows that I knew she was not going to want to watch.
Breaking Bad.
That one too. And I've
Post up your favorite. If you're watching live on Facebook, what's your favorite binge show?
That's
for trainer riding.
I've gone through so many shows and only done so when I was either on the treadmill or the trainer.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai is another one. Right now I'm on The Boys.
The Boys
on Amazon.
Not The Boys in the Hood?
No. It's not kid friendly whatsoever. So
put your headphones in.
Yeah. Make sure if you're watching The Boys, you got the volume down if the kids are anywhere. But
yeah, my wife will be like, "Hey, do you want to watch this show?" Or my parents the other day were like, "Hey, have you watched this show?" And I was like, "Yeah." Chris was
Yeah.
like, when'd you watch that? Like, there was like 3 different shows where I'd watched the whole season. And trainer. It's like, trainer, man.
Absolutely. So like, among other things, if you're spending a decent amount of time on the trainer, like it'll make you really appreciate those nice days out on the road.
That's one of our last and final points here.
Yeah.
It really makes you appreciate a good, fun group ride.
There's been
a good ride on the road.
There's been a lot of times where just way life handed it, I was even in the nicest times of the summer and spring, like I was on the trainer almost all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like once I could get out on the, weekend group rides and stuff like that, I see, you say to yourself,
Felt like a little kid.
I'm not going back.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going back. But inevitably,
Yeah.
among, for many, many reasons that we've already kind of rolled through, like it is just a great tool. I mean, it's really what it is.
Performance is, if performance and improvement is your thing, you have to learn to love the trainer.
Yeah.
If you just like riding your bike and you like to do it for just, some fitness, and that's great too. And if you don't want to ride a trainer, all good. But if performance and you're time crunched and you want to improve, I mean, trainers where it's at.
I was watching a replay of the Madrid Challenge, the ladies' race, and on the last day, I don't know if you saw the course, pretty much flat as can be. A circuit. It was like a 5.5K circuit they did for 100K.
Oh, jeez.
And every other lap they did a sprint.
Oh, wow.
And they were point sprints, so you could literally win the entire like 3-day deal if you won like enough points on the sprint. And this one Italian, I can't remember her name now. Italian rider went bombing off the front, and she was out by herself for a long time. And granted, this is a flat course with teams, and they were chasing hard. And they were just talking about how, because Italy was locked down so heavily, she basically spent all her time on the turbo trainer and doing strength work, and came out of the lockdown strong as
like a boss, huh?
Yeah, like crazy strong. But it just goes to show, like you can get so much quality work on the trainer. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not going to hone all of the skills of cycling just riding the trainer.
Not at all.
Some
of your most dangerous races and group rides will be riding with those who've spent a winter on the trainer and are coming out with no handling skills.
Yeah, that, and it's just shifting, like being able to shift at the right time, and bike handling, like you said, like those are skills that you kind of can lose a little bit of your touch on if you are just staring at a TV or screen.
And we have found like doing high-end like sprint style stuff, like that's not something we give to our athletes ever to do indoors.
I'll do like seated maximal efforts. Nothing out of the saddle, but just seeing what you can peak out on a trainer for, like, it's more of a neuromuscular workout.
So this is like another side note.
Let's tangent.
Going back to Zwift racing. Have you seen like what some of those? There's some elite folks that only Zwift race. Like that's their thing.
Yeah.
There's one guy who's a sprinter. I forget his name offhand now, but he showed his setup, and he's got like 4 massive fans for keeping him cool. But he's got his trainer is like, he has like sandbags like weighted down. His trainer's like physically weighted down for when he stands to sprint, so that he doesn't like
roll over,
tip the whole thing over. Yeah, he's got it like totally weighted down.
That's
hilarious. So you can try that out if you're gonna sprint in your trainer.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Sandbags, baby.
Even with like a rock and roll trainer, it's not. I did like a research project, or I was a part of a research project several years ago, where they were like just testing maximal cycling effort and how your like leg angles and stuff changed when you were going maximally, blah blah blah. And so they're like, just go as hard as you can for 15 seconds on the trainer. We did it like 3 times or something like that. And like they had it on a rock and roll trainer and all this stuff. And it was just like, this is not normal. This does not, like, the thing doesn't move. It was on my bike. So
Yeah.
like it doesn't move the same. Like, so like when you're talking about like sprinting outdoors and there's so much form involved in that, like it's like,
You can't rock your bike indoors.
yeah. Well, it's like, in my opinion, it's like, it's almost like trying to do a swim workout, and some people will debate me on this, on like a Vasa trainer where you're not actually in the water. Like it's just different.
The feel is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just won't get quite the same benefit from it.
All right. So if you made it this far, a question we've been getting quite a bit is just trainer recommendations.
Yeah.
And we aren't going to go into a breakdown of all the different types out there. But we would recommend...
We have no affiliations with any trainer brand or
none
out there. So
a fluid trainer, like we would recommend. So a cheaper price point would be going
minimal,
with a fluid resistance trainer.
If you're new to trainers, minimally look for a fluid trainer because of the way it feels. There are other ones like magnet trainers and fan trainers and all those they don't have a road feel really whatsoever. I mean,
and if you're a fan, the fan trainer can be so loud.
Oh my gosh.
The ability to you'll want to get off that sooner just from a noise standpoint.
Yeah.
But the fluid trainers are typically pretty quiet.
It's like the old compu trainer. Sounded like an airplane.
Winding up.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
and then for smart trainers, I mean, smart trainer is not something you need for indoor training. Some of the benefits. So we have people that ask us, if you have a power meter, we would rather you be like budget wise. If you only have so much money to devote to this, we would prefer you go with a power meter on your bike and a fluid trainer versus doing a smart trainer, which will have power as part of it, but not being able to put power on your bike. The value there is having power on your bike now is going to give you all the data when you aren't on the trainer. So we would prefer you go that route, but if you got money for both, I mean, smart trainers are nice because you can start doing some of this virtual stuff where it will adjust for you and super quiet.
You can ride courses, you can do all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's like we said earlier, it's getting pretty advanced.
And you won't be blowing through tires as fast.
If you have a direct drive trainer. Not to go into bunch of details, but obviously the smart trainers, there's a ton of them out there. I think the Wahoo Kicker is probably the most popular. They also have the Kicker Core, which is like the Kicker Core is also a direct drive. The Snap is the wheel on trainer. It's also a smart trainer. Tendency is the wheel on trainers, smart trainers, have a little bit harder time adjusting for the gradients. So like if you get on a course that goes to an uphill, the trainer like wrenches down on the wheel pretty quickly. So it just doesn't feel quite the same. With the direct drive, it can more gradually put that resistance on you because it's not having to deal with any wheel slippage or resistance from a tire or whatever. And then you get, it's just smoother. I mean, so far I've been pretty happy with, so we both use the Saurus H3, and that's solely because we found it on a Black Friday at a good deal. But
and old DC Rainmaker gave it some good reviews.
He did. I didn't read them, but
if ever you want something researched, just go to DC Rainmaker. Like if you're making a decision on something, there's a good chance he has.
I'm sure he's touched it and
reviewed it,
and he's like,
in depth.
I can't do his reviews.
Yes,
I appreciate what he does, but when I see a review that will take me 30 minutes at least to get through, I'm just not going to do it.
But he does the researching for you. So if you're in the market, go. He actually has one where he's compared all the trainers, or smart trainers.
He's compared a lot of things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
Anyways,
All right.
I think that's it.
I think the horse is dead yet again.
I think we're gonna get a call for PETA.
All this horse beating we're doing here. All right, crew.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone hanging out, listening, watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Adios.